Live from the NBC Montana studios, this is NBC Montana Today.
Good morning, Montana. I'm Jason Hurst. As you pour your coffee and make breakfast, let's get you caught up on what you might have missed while you were sleeping and prepared for your Wednesday. I'm tongue-tied this morning. Coming up in Butte, the Sheriff's Department is warning the community of a deadly drug, what you need to know. And in Polson, learn how new funding can help with traffic safety in the community and meet a stray dog who wandered into a permanent home.
Well, the time is 6:30 on a Wednesday morning. Temperatures mid-30s for us right now in Missoula, still at 38 in Kalispell, southwest Montana. Clear skies. You can see it there in our Opportunity Bank of Montana weather camera. Bozeman, 26, 23 currently in Butte. Radar looking good for the time being, but this is going to change. We're going to track some wet weather, mainly moving into northwest Montana as you make your way into, say, early or late morning, early afternoon hours is when you could see some of that wet weather. Of course, we'll time that out with our future tracker coming up in about 10 minutes. Today, Missoula, 41, lunchtime, trying to get outside. Not as warm as it was yesterday. We hit 50 in Missoula, but we'll be sitting at 45 in that 2 o'clock hour in the Missoula area. Breezy area wide. Some of our strongest winds will be around southwest Montana. That's where we could have southwest winds gusting up to around 20 and 30 miles per hour. You'll be at 44 at around 2 o'clock today in Bozeman. When we look at our 10-day forecast, you're going to notice a big drop in temperatures. I'll tell you how long it's going to last coming up in the next half hour.
We start things off in Butte, where officials are warning the community after a recent spike in fentanyl overdoses. In a 72-hour period, responders were called to 6 medical emergencies involving people overdosing on illicit fentanyl. All 6 individuals survived thanks in part to Narcan being administered. Sheriff Ed Lesser says a new and strong supply of illicit fentanyl powder recently introduced to the area appears to be contributing to the spike, and they are currently investigating it. Now, with this news, Butte officials and first responders say the timely administration of Narcan during a fentanyl overdose is critical to prevent loss of life and preventing overdoses in the first place, and that's ideal.
The most important message that we can spread is to our youth and in the community about just staying away from substances in general that are not prescribed by a doctor or something that you know that is safe to take.
And as a reminder, even if you administer Narcan to someone experiencing an overdose, you should still call 911 as Narcan can wear off before the opioid does. The Butte Health Department will be holding 2 free Narcan administration trainings on November 21st. And Butte Cares also has presentations on fentanyl prevention education, and that is also available. Now, for more information, just visit our website at nbcmontana.com. The city of Polson is receiving new government and financial funding to improve traffic safety for the community. The Polson Police Department received a $50,000 grant from the Montana Emergency Tourism Assistance Program, and that grant will help launch the CARES program, which is aimed at traffic safety and public awareness. The police department plans on getting 2 smart speed trailers that will show the speed travelers are going and 1 message sign that will have updates regarding events, emergency alerts, and road conditions. We spoke with the Polson police chief about this new grant.
It's just a way for us to send messages to motorists as they're driving through town, particularly for tourists if they're not used to driving through the area. And then the speed trailers will mainly be in our school zones to help slow down motorists in front of the schools.
The 3 new items will gather traffic data to help the Polson Police Department with future enforcement efforts. And the city of Missoula is asking for the public's input on the next stage of the West Broadway River Corridor project. The project focuses on this area of the Clark Fork River, bordered by West Broadway Street to the north and Silver Park and Ogren Park to the south.
This is going to be the largest project on the Clark Fork River in downtown since we've built the levees in the 60s. And so it will require, no matter what we do, coffer damming off the river, moving it to work in the dry. It's going to be a pretty complex project.
The project includes fixing the boat ramp at Silver Park, improving the erosion on the south bank, and removing river debris. 3 concepts are up for public discussion with an estimated price tag of $1.5 million to roughly $7 million. The project could get underway by 2026. To view the different concepts, just visit our homepage at nbcmontana.com. In Missoula County, officials now say preliminary maps of the updated floodplain will not be released this month as initially expected. Matt Heimel, the county's floodplain administrator, says the maps were expected by next Thursday, but will now be delayed several months. Heimel says as maps near release, contractors and engineers with FEMA will review the data for errors, and that's what's causing the delay.
At the last step before being issued, FEMA identifies something that relates to levees and how the floodway is mapped.
Heimel says a future map revision could exclude some parts of the Orchard Homes neighborhood from the floodway due to a levee in the area. Now, the years-long process is updating the mapped areas around the Clark Fork River, Bitterroot River, and Rock Creek. Missoula Parks and Recreation is expecting as much as $2 million in tree damage from the July windstorm. The city's Parks and Recreation Board received a storm update on Tuesday. Morgan Valiant with Parks and Recreation says more than 400 trees will still need to be removed from parks or city property. This is on top of more than 5,000 hanging limbs.
We've already resolved, upwards of 200 removals over the past few months, and those have really been the highest risk removals.
Valiant says insurance will cover stump grinding and tree replacement in city parks. However, funding from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which covers removals in the right-of-way, does not cover stump grinding or new trees. Valiant says contractors will start work in parts of the city in as soon as a week. Now, to track tree trimming and removals in real time, just visit our homepage at NBCMontana.com. The FAA issued a notice on Tuesday prohibiting U.S. civil aviation operations in Haiti airspace below 10,000 feet for 30 days. Now, the announcement comes after a Spirit Airlines flight from Florida was hit by gunfire while trying to land in Haiti on Monday. The plane was diverted to Santiago, Dominican Republic, where it landed safely. A flight attendant suffered minor injuries, but no passengers were harmed in the incident. The attack marks the second time in under a month that an aircraft has been targeted while flying over Haiti's capital. NBC News has learned the New York judge who presided over President-elect Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial has pushed back his ruling on whether to set aside the incoming president's felony convictions. Now, lawyers for the president-elect want the case dismissed, while prosecutors say they need more time to evaluate the next steps now that the former president has been elected again. In a letter to the judge, the prosecution agreed with the Trump team's request for a stay to consider the impact of the election. A week's delay has been granted by the court, and prosecutors must now stay their position by 10 a.m. on November 19th. And let's take a look at some items happening today and get them on your radar. In Helena, Governor Greg Gianforte will hold a press conference to preview his budget. The press conference will begin at 11:30 a.m. in the governor's reception room at the state capitol, and our evening newscasts will bring you the highlights regarding the state budget. And you can expect some travel delays in Kalispell today from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. The City of Kalispell's street department is set to conduct road maintenance on 4th Street West between Main Street and 1st Avenue West. The maintenance work is scheduled to begin today and is anticipated to be completed by Friday. You can expect full westbound lane closure. Temporary signs will be in place to guide traffic. Let's visit with Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster, who is standing by. And Brooke, we've got 20 minutes left in our newscast. What does everybody need to be aware of right now?
Kiddos getting ready to scurry out the door this morning. Temperatures in the 30s for us, Kalispell and Missoula, 639 right now. We do have clear skies in both Kalispell and Missoula. That's not going to last long because we're tracking some wet weather. In fact, Kalispell, throw the rain gear in the backpack. You're going to need it as we make our way into the afternoon. We'll be dodging a couple of showers in and around northwest Montana. 39 at lunchtime, 41 in that 3 o'clock hour for Missoula. We've got temperatures that'll drop into the upper 20s this morning, only to be close to 40 by lunchtime, 45 with a good deal of cloud cover later on this afternoon. Could have a round of accumulating snow tonight. I'll tell you where we could have some travel impacts in 10 minutes.
Coming up, learn how some toys from 40 years ago are making the Hall of Fame, and learn how a dog in need of a home, accidentally found the perfect family.